big night in the world of entertainment news. It was the Oscars, and very exciting. I went to a very fun viewing party. I hope all of you had your own ways of enjoying it. And today I wanted to kind of recap the events, and I have a very special guest with me today. She is a film critic and host of Beyond the Trailer YouTube channel. It's super fun. You guys, if you don't already know about it, go check it out. Grace Randolph is here. Grace, how are you?
Thanks for having me on your show, Ava. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to talk Oscars with you.
Yes, I know. Very excited to speak to you. Of course, you have been sort of covering these films up until last night, doing reviews, and so you know it was a cool show. What did you kind of think of it? First thoughts.
I think they managed to have some really fun moments. You know, I think it's always tough for the Oscars because there's such a disconnect between what Hollywood wants to celebrate and what audiences want to celebrate.
So true. They've been trying so hard to kind of find that middle ground, you know, with so many different issues throughout, you know, the entertainment industry and just kind of society in general. I think they're really trying. Some of it works.
That's the way to see it.
Yeah.
They're really trying.
They're trying. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of the films and the winners, what are your thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel as host? This is his second year doing it. What did you think?
I thought he did, you know, I think he did a safe job, you know, but I think that considering how low the viewership's just coming in, it's pretty low. It's actually, in fact, it's expected to be the lowest ever. I think that they should be less concerned with advertising the ABC late night lineup with getting a fun host like Billy Crystal or Ellen DeGeneres. I think that's when the show really shines. Chris Rock.
Yes, I thought he was fantastic. Yeah, something a little bit, you know, pushing the edge a little. I guess Jimmy Kimmel is kind of safe.
Well, I mean, in some ways I don't blame him because it's a minefield right now out there. But I think his monologue, instead of being funny, it was more like trying to get out in front of things.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I thought he had some funny moments. There were a couple of things that made me laugh in that opening monologue. But yeah, nothing too out on a limb.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's get into some of the big categories. What are your thoughts on the Best Supporting categories? We have Sam Rockwell winning Best Supporting Actor. We have Allison Janney winning Best Supporting Actress. What are your thoughts on those wins? Nothing too shocking there, I don't think.
No, that's the thing. Everybody knew these people were going to win way back since January with the Golden Globes. But they're both so talented. I think these are two actors that everybody's familiar with and is always like, I love them. Why don't they get more work, you know? And for them to just, you know, Allison Janney's on a sitcom right now. Sam Rockwell has always struggled, I think, to get his next picture. Not now. And I think it's so great to see them jump to the Oscars. They're working actors. I think it's really nice to, just like with J.K. Simmons' win, it's really nice to see working actors recognized. You don't have to be a movie star for the Academy to appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely agree with that, especially with those two actors. They're those kind of like solid actors. Every time you see them in your film, you're like, man, I really, you know, they're just so good character actors,
Exactly.
you know? Yeah, it was a good, you know, we here in Rhode Island were really rooting for Richard Jenkins. He's a Rhode Islander, you know, coming from Trinity Rep here in Providence, and we were all rooting for him. I thought he did a fantastic job in that film, but I think Sam Rockwell, it was very well deserved. So, my 2 cents.
He was up there. He was nominated.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Let's talk about big moment for Frances McDormand. She really utilized her moment in the spotlight to, you know, make a point. What were your thoughts on her win and her moment?
Well, it's interesting. We'll see if it turns into a Patricia Arquette level moment. I mean, we won't know. The inclusion rider discussion is a very interesting one. I don't know if from a legal perspective, you know, the idea that you could force, you know, hirings both in front of and behind the camera, it's a fine line. It's very tricky. But, you know, she's certainly got people talking, although more people are talking about her Oscar being nabbed at the after party, so.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that was
Some guy just picked it up.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, is it like MIA? She hasn't found it?
No, they got it back, but
Okay,
he like
good.
made a video with it on Facebook, and he's actually been arrested.
Oh my gosh.
You don't steal an Oscar in Hollywood. They take that very seriously.
Yeah, seriously. That's crazy. I will add to that, to her moment, really interesting because that inclusion, thing, it's a very sort of insider, kind of industry term. A lot of people don't even know what that is. I've heard that it was one of the most searched things on the internet that night. So really interesting that she would bring that up sort of in that forum, kind of educating a lot of people about what that even is.
Yeah, she said she herself didn't know until just a couple months ago, and she's been working in the business for decades.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So what are your thoughts on the Best Actor win for Gary Oldman?
This was a tough one. This broke a lot of hearts.
Yes.
There were a lot of Chalamet fans, a lot of Kaluuya fans, but Gary Oldman, the Oscars do this. It's more of a Lifetime Achievement Award. I mean, his work was very impressive, but I think people also were, Gary Oldman has a checkered past.
Yeah.
And, his win and Kobe Bryant's win, although I loved what Kobe Bryant said about, shut up and dribble. That reference was great.
I thought that was great too. Yeah. I liked that he called out that comment. Yeah. I appreciate it.
I thought that was fabulous.
Yeah.
But it's weird, for the Oscars to be so like, yeah, me too. And then for those individuals, and then James Franco doesn't get nominated. I'm sure James Franco was at home like, what the hell?
I know. Yeah, exactly.
With his ice cream and his pajamas. And
right.
I hate everybody.
So true. Okay, I want to talk about my absolute favorite moment of the night was Jordan Peele's win for Best Original Screenplay for Get Out. Oh my God, I couldn't be more of a fan of that film. I love the fact that it was even nominated for Best Picture. It's such, stylistically, the kind of movie that it is, it wouldn't typically get nominated for that kind of thing, and I just loved it. What are your thoughts on that win?
I couldn't agree more. It was a historic win, both for the genre and for Black talent in Hollywood. I thought he did a great job. I thought it was great that he referenced fans who saw the movie. I thought it was great, the great photos of him and Keegan-Michael Key after the show. I just thought it was really nice. But I think that the only thing that tempered it a little bit is everybody expected him to win that award.
Yeah, true. That was sort of the feeling, was that the other nominations were great, but no one expected that film to win in the other two, so that was sort of like the giveaway. They may give him Best Original Screenplay, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Like if Get Out had won Best Picture, everyone, it would have been a much different awards show.
Yes, definitely. Definitely, that would have been shocking, and I would have, honestly, that was one of my favorite films. I didn't get to see quite all of them. There were so many nominees. There were 9 Best Pictures.
Yes.
It's kind of a lot of films to watch.
It's a lot.
I know, you should know, but then again, it's, that's your thing. So I want to keep talking about this for just a moment because it was such I was such a big fan of that film. I was surprised that more attention wasn't brought to the acting in that film. I know, Best Actor was a nominee from that film, but some of the other acting in that film from supporting roles were just truly outstanding.
It was great. I'm glad you brought that up because I like they showed so many clips this year. I thought that was really nice to actually see the work. So rare for the Oscars.
Yes.
And particularly when they showed Daniel Kaluuya's clip during the Best Actor, I'd forgotten how nuanced his performance was.
Yeah. It was
right? And I was like, wow, he does deserve to be up there.
Absolutely.
And it was great.
Yeah.
Very well made film.
So that was my all-time favorite moment of the night. What was your favorite moment?
I loved when they went across the street to see the moviegoers. I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought it was not only fun, but I thought it was very telling about the people who decided to go. You'll notice it was mostly the blockbuster actors who were like, that's my bread and butter across the street.
Right.
Like the last minute, Margot Robbie ran up and she was like, I better join this group.
Yeah, right.
It was great. And I thought that I'm a big fan of Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot and what that movie accomplished. I feel it was snubbed. I don't think it should have won, but it should have been nominated. So I was so happy to see her get so much screen time and recognition anyway, and still be able to be a part of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes to show she's really sort of niching out this kind of approachable superstar.
Totally.
That's sort of her vibe.
Yes.
She's so beautiful and she's so talented, but she's really approachable and genuine, it seems. So it's really cool.
I think approachable is the perfect word for her. It's great. And that's how Wonder Woman should be.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Okay. Since we were talking about hosts a little bit, there's a lot of chat now about Tiffany Haddish and Rudolph. They came out. They had one of the most entertaining moments of the whole night. What do you think? Do you think that they could be hosts? Do you think that they would go
sure.
there?
The new Faye and Polar, for sure.
Exactly.
They totally had that dynamic. It was so exciting. They were funny. And I love that, you know, they and those two and Kimmel and Johnny were able to make political statements that still seemed inclusive,
right,
and that were fun, but still made their point. I thought those were the funniest people, I thought, last night. They were so good. But I would love, Tiffany Haddish is hosting the MTV Movie and TV Awards. That was a great ad for that. But I would love to see her and Maya Rudolph team up again. That would be great.
Oh, I think it would be fantastic. I think, yeah, I agree. It was so just vibrant. It really, like, kind of woke you up. I mean, not like I was snoozing, but it was getting a little, you know, like a typical award show. Then those two came out. It was so fun. I loved her joke about Oscar's too white and like, now they're too
like, trust me, there are a lot of white people backstage. They're coming out. I thought that was great. I thought that was so funny. But she did it like in a fun way. I thought that was great.
Yes, exactly. What are some technical awards that you thought were well-deserved last night?
Well, while I had problems with Blade Runner 2049 overall as a movie, I really was happy for its 2 wins. I was so happy that Roger Deakins' 14th nomination finally wins one.
So incredible.
Right?
Incredible.
It was great. So you saw history being made there.
Yes.
In terms of Hollywood. And then also, some people disagreed. They would have selected another film to win Best VFX. But for anyone who's seen Blade Runner 2049, and it's not a lot of people, but if anyone wants to check it out, it has this amazing fight in a Vegas showroom with like these hologram performances that flicker on and off during the fight. And that was such an inventive use of visual effects. I think it deserves the win there, for sure.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, you know, it's hard for people to really wrap their heads around how that stuff is actually made. You just see these films, they're incredible special effects, and you just wonder how it happened. So it's nice to see some recognition.
They're getting too good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too easy.
Kind of seamless. Let's talk a little bit about Best Picture, The Shape of Water, big winner for Best Director as well. What are your thoughts on this? I have my own thoughts, but what are your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. With all due respect, a lot of people are very happy that the film won, particularly people who like to see the representation for Mexico. Big night for Mexico last night. Guillermo del Toro, Coco.
Big winner.
Two Oscars.
Yes.
And so that was wonderful. And while I love Coco, I think that The Shape of Water, I feel people are saying it's not a political film. I think it is a very political film. It's just like it's an easier pill to swallow. And I think people wanted it upset. People weren't like, 3 billboards, really? But I don't think it broke the way people were hoping.
Yeah, absolutely. The Shape of Water was incredibly well acted, beautifully directed, I thought, and very unique and creative. I was left a little perplexed, actually, after the film. I
couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I was sort of like, and I'm a film person. I love creativity and innovation and things that are sort of outside the box, but it was a little too weird.
Well, I also, as I tweeted last night, I thought that fish-lady relationship was very one-sided. I thought that she was projecting a lot onto the fish.
It was a little
we've all been there.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think that, I think the problem with that film is that it just never went deep enough with any of the characters.
Yeah.
I felt it's a real check-the-box kind of movie. And the best person in the movie, I thought Michael Shannon wasn't even nominated.
I know, agreed. Fantastic performance. I mean, he's another one of those actors, like we were saying, that everything that he is in, I'm constantly impressed with his talent, his ability to really fill different shoes in such a believable way. I thought he was fantastic, such a great bad guy.
Yeah. Totally. And for your viewers, anyone who's thinking of seeing The Shape of Water because it won Best Picture, it's a little risque. You think there's, people talked about bestiality in Beauty and the Beast. There's actual bestiality in The Shape of Water. So just be prepared.
It was a very weird movie. I know. I keep saying that. I don't know what else to call it.
I was surprised it went as far as it did. Like right away, too. I was like, oh, I didn't know this was that kind of movie.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, opening scene, very.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of were like, oh, this is what we're in for. Okay.
Exactly. I had the exact same reaction that you did. I was very surprised.
Yes.
That's now an Oscar-winning movie.
You just never know. I know. So let's talk about some snubs here, because you already mentioned one, the complete lack of any nomination for Wonder Woman. Lady Bird getting lots of nominations, no wins. What do you think was the biggest snub last night?
You know, it's funny you put those two together, because for all the talk about what Frances McDormand was like, and then you're like, oh, the two women pictures went home, you know, one was totally ignored and one got not a single Oscar.
Yep. Yeah, that was some of the
still
comments.
Have a lot of work to do.
Yes, it was like great that these women were nominated, but still they really didn't win in those categories.
Yeah.
So
I have to laugh at it. It's so sad.
It's so sad.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, totally. I think those were snubs. Some people thought the Baby Driver should have gone home with something. I thought it deserved best editing. I would agree with that. But I thought also for This Is Me, for The Greatest Showman to lose, especially after they brought the crowd in the auditorium to their feet, was a shocking loss.
Very shocking. Very shocking. And people are talking about that song. It's almost like a movement. It is such a powerful piece. And yeah, you're right. The performance last night was outstanding and completely did not win the category.
Hollywood just doesn't like that movie. I saw some people having a theory, and because audiences love it, it's still in the top 10. Like after it came out at Christmas. But you know, people are thinking that maybe the P.T. Barnum angle is not good. But I talked about this on my review of the Oscars, and it's like, well, they made Tonya Harding into a hero, and everyone's okay with that.
That's so true.
You can't cherry pick where, oh, it's the work, and then, oh, here now it's the history. You got to have a universal application, in my opinion.
Right. It's very tricky. It's hard to truly be honest, kind of from any angle when there's so much scrutiny, from every angle. So yeah, it is a little challenging. That movie, you're right. Everyone loves it. So kind of shocking.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it is horribly historically inaccurate. But so is I Tonya.
What was your, just out of curiosity, since you are a film critic, you've watched probably almost all of these films, what was your favorite movie?
Oh, it was tough. I kind of wanted Three Billboards to win.
Okay.
I would have been very happy with Get Out as well.
Yes.
I had a little bit of a problem with the third act of Get Out, but I really liked the message of Three Billboards. Because, you know, this isn't about the best movie anymore. It's about the message.
Yeah.
And I thought the Three Billboards message about, you know, fighting the system and how hard it is even to get just your fair piece of it, I thought was really well done.
Yeah.
And especially in today's internet age, you know, where you see a lot of the groups that are represented in that movie having to deal with a lot of pushback online and hate.
Right.
I really liked that element of the film.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely powerful, kind of ferocious. I think someone used that term to describe the film, and yeah, I kind of agree.
It was great. Yeah, it was very good.
So all in all, how would you sort of, you know, a general review for the Oscars as a whole?
I thought that it wasn't the best Oscars they've had, but I thought a lot of careers were either made or boosted significantly last night.
Absolutely.
And it was new talent, which was really nice. It was fresh people for a lot of it. Jordan Peele, Tiffany Haddish, Kimmel and Johnny, Gal Gadot, Lupita Nyong'o looked great. It was really nice.
Yes. Awesome to
What'd
all
you
of
think?
that. All of that great stuff. Well, Grace, thank you so much for joining us today. So much fun chatting with you. I'm really happy we had this opportunity to sort of recap last night's show.
Oh, I had a great time talking about it with you. It was great. It was fun.
So go, if you haven't already, go check out her YouTube channel, Beyond the Trailer. Some really fun stuff. I'm sure you can see a lot of reviews on the movies that we discussed if you haven't seen them yet, so go check it out. And I'm going to take a very quick break to get set up for my next guest, so stick around.